of that. So joining me now, Michael Allen, who served on the National Security Council under President Bush. Michael, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. You know, one of the things that I want to zero in on here is, the question is stopping the threat of Hamas and how to accomplish that goal. But I'm not sure that President Biden is as focused on that right now as he is on other things. Let me start with this soundbite from Doug Burgum. Watch this, and then I want to get your thoughts on the other side, sir.
Always had a rule, which is don't negotiate with terrorists, but Joe Biden has gone way beyond that. He's actually negotiating for the terrorists. He's put a red line for Israel, for our ally. How about Joe Biden saying, we're going to keep providing weapons until you release the hostages, Hamas? He should be negotiating alongside of Israel. He's on the opposite side of the table.
Is that fair?
I think so. Look, I think President Biden is intentionally or unintentionally being counterproductive towards the Israeli position. The Israelis are trying to go into Rafah to increase their leverage over Hamas in the hostage negotiations, in addition to trying to degrade Hamas. And the more Sinwar, the evil Hamas terrorist buried out there in one of the tunnels, or at least masterminding things from one of the tunnels, sees that Israel is on the hot seat globally, especially from its best friend and ally, the United States. Sinwar says, why should I do a hostage deal? I'll get a better deal later. I should hold out, and maybe Biden and others will make Israel go into a ceasefire that could last for many, many months.
So specifically, the JDAM weapons, 3,500 of them that would be targeted, and the kits that go with them apparently really are what make them very precise in their targeting. Are the specific weapons that are being withheld, are they bombs that would destroy large civilian populations, or are they bombs that would allow targeting Hamas to the greatest degree?
So if they have the sort of governors on there to make sure that they have less of a battlefield impact, it will help what I think Biden is trying to do, which is to ensure that there's less battlefield damage against civilians. So it doesn't really make sense. Some of the equipment, the kits, as you mentioned, doesn't make sense for them to be holding that back, because that's ostensibly what Biden wants, fewer civilian casualties. But I think what Biden's going for is he's trying to appeal to his base here in a political year who think they want to see Biden be tough against our ally Israel. And instead, what that's doing is undermining Israel's position, making it harder for them to go and uproot the Hamas brigades that are still there in Rafah, and making it much harder for them to get leverage over Sinwar and Hamas, who need to compromise and release some of these hostages, some of whom, by the way, are American. And so I hope President Biden will begin to enunciate more often that it is the United States that lost 33 people there on October 7th, and as many as 8 are still in under hostage.
Absolutely.
So we really need to start putting the heat on the Biden administration about this.
Yeah, we don't hear all that much about them. One last question for you. The suggestion that Hezbollah might be emboldened if they think that Israel needs to fight with one arm behind its back. Do you think this provokes more aggression from Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, given the arrangement from the U.S.?
I think so, because basically what Biden has tried to do is clip the wings of Israel across the board. And the enemies, especially in Iran, see this and say, we have more latitude to do things we ordinarily wouldn't do, because not only are they tied down in Gaza, they're in a huge fight with their ally, the United States. And so I think over time it degrades the Israeli position, because Hezbollah, obviously the Houthi, and Hamas and everyone else feel strengthened, feel emboldened to move against Israel, as long as the United States and Biden and others are beating them up every day about the way they conduct the war. We say, you have a right to self-defense. Please defend yourself. But hey, we're not going to send you all the weapons you need to do that. So it really doesn't make any sense. And I think they're over their skis, and they need to start over and rethink their policy, not just with Hamas, but with Iran more generally.
Michael Allen, thank you so much. Good to have you.
Thank you.
So we have